What's up, everybody? This is the Anime Squad Podcast, episode 98. I'm just the alchemist, Robbie.
I'm your homunculus, David.
And I'm your chimera, Josh.
And before we begin, just remember to please transmutate the like button, transform the comment button, incinerate the share button, destroy the notification bell, and of course, like always, we have timestamps here. Unfortunately, Omar cannot make it to this week's episode. He has other personal things to be doing, but yeah, other than that, let's get right into it. We have a lot of shows here for you today, but we're going to be starting off with a new show, and that show is Cuphead, episode 1. The new Cuphead show just came out on Netflix, and we're going to be talking about it week by week. They dropped all 12 episodes. But yeah, we're just going to be doing like the week by week format that we usually do with these kind of releases. Mm-hmm. And yeah, episode 1, what'd you boys think of it so far?
I liked it. I thought it was really it was unique. You know, the animation was straight from the game pretty much. It was
what's
great,
funny,
you know, old timey.
They gave Cuphead a Brooklyn accent.
Yeah, that was funny.
I really like the vibe and tone that the show has, and dude, like playing the original game, like there's so much love and care that's like put into like all the set pieces and like a lot of the different references that they make to all the levels and stuff. Like it's honestly like a really, really big treat to kind of see all this like just kind of like just come to life in animation form.
Yeah, you know, and all the gags and stuff, like when the devil's chasing them through all the you know, carnival games and stuff like that, was really like, it was just really well done, and it was really like a joy to watch, honestly.
Yeah, and then honestly, like it just kind of fits just the aesthetic like of everything in general, and oh my god, like the devil's singing voice that caught me off guard, but it honestly fit really well.
The devil's voice in general caught me off guard.
But yeah, I mean, overall, it was just it was just a fun time. Each episode was only like, you know, this episode, I assume what every episode is like 15 minutes long. It was honestly a lot of fun. Really, like it fits the game really well, and just the dynamic between Cuphead and Mugman also, like, because again, like when this game first came out like 5 years ago, which is crazy to think about. There was honestly like there wasn't really like any kind of like characteristics or personality put into like, you know, the main characters themselves. Mm-hmm. So seeing kind of like Cuphead be like, you know, this type of character, and like Mugman as like the not like the whiny, but like he's like a lot more cautious, like, you know, younger brother kind
he's
of.
He's an optimistic really well. Guy. He was the optimistic one, while the other one's cautious. You know, he's
very cautious, kind of like the whole Mario and Luigi dynamic.
Yeah.
It honestly fits really well for these characters, and like it was always like something that I always kind of like thought in my head. It's like, oh, you know, this honestly makes sense.
Yeah, like it fit the characters so well, despite us, you know, not having any prior knowledge to like the characters from the game. But I felt like these personalities fit the characters really well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm curious in general why they went with yellow gloves. I think that's the modern take to white gloves, I guess, because they did it with the Bugs Bunny show as well.
Well, the thing is that like, even though like in regular gameplay, like Cuphead and Mugman have like white gloves, yellow gloves are actually shown like on the results screen. Because the results screen version of Cuphead, the gameplay version of Cuphead, and the map screen version of Cuphead all actually have like differing color schemes and stuff. So I guess it was kind of like to illustrate how like different characters have like different like colored gloves and stuff. Like you said, like with Bugs Bunny and like Mickey Mouse and stuff. Again, there's like a whole different like subgenre of like differing like references to like old school animation and stuff. So honestly, like it's kind of funny that Cuphead himself got a show himself, because it kind of feels like everything kind of like looped back around in a sense.
Yeah.
Especially how they made it seem like old school. Like there was like it felt like it had a like film over it, so you could see the ripples, like pieces of the show itself. So you're watching it like an actual like film kind of thing. I don't know. They had a filter above the actual animation to make it look like an old school anime show.
Yeah, no, for sure. Because I was also thinking to myself, it's like, man, what would also kind of like complete this kind of would also kind of like help, like kind of like fit with the look, is if they were to make it like into a black and white, like put a black and white filter over it too. I gotta imagine that would also like fit really well too.
Yeah, I could see that too, but the game is in color, so I think they just wanted to keep it consistent with the game. But like what David said, I really liked it. Like even all the animation like was old timey, the way the characters move
rubber hose,
and like
yeah, they had like a rubber hose animation kind of like style to it. But it also kind of like reminded me a lot of the 90s era like cartoon animation too, like with Ren and Stimpy as well. So like they have like a really like huge range of like facial animations and stuff like that. Like I said, this is like a whole like we could dissect like to and back with like how Cuphead is like animated and everything like that, because there's like again, like I said, there's so much love and care poured into the show as the game that like this was honestly like one of my fears that I had when Cuphead first, like when the show was first announced. I was like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna fit too well.
But they're doing it right.
Honestly, like they blew my expectations out of the water with this first episode, and honestly can't wait to continue watching it.
Yep.
Overall, what do you guys think of like impressions wise? Like what kind of rating would you guys give?
7.5 for now, for me.
That's good. Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna go with that as well. 7.5. Like I said, great start, and considering there's 12 episodes out there, if you guys want to go ahead and watch it all, you guys can watch it all. But yeah, it's definitely 7.5 for me. You could
join us.
Oh yeah, definitely join us as well to see kind of what we need, what you guys want to, want us to say and stuff.
Yeah, I would also. I'm with the boys, but I give it a 7. I think it's cute. It's short, but I think it already is making it. Having a story with it and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes as well.
Absolutely.
And we'll see if the devil gets his soul.
We'll see.
Or I double down.
Double down.
I'd love to bring that up, huh?
But yeah, we're gonna be moving on to our next show. We have Legend of Vox Machina, episode 4.
Damn, this episode.
What'd you guys think of this episode? Because this one was kind of more.
It was development with the characters.
It was definitely more development with the characters, kind of like seeing where Percival comes from, why he is the way he is regarding the Briarwoods. I think it was good. I think it was good development, and the fact that they were placed under house arrest, and later on in the episode where they were kind of like split into pairs or whatever, it kind of helped flesh them out more and kind of like see like the character dynamics between like Pike and Grog, for instance, and all that.
Yeah, I like how they got divided, because then you get more close with these characters.
The characters get one-on-one time with each other and stuff.
Right. Yeah.
The only person who didn't get development is our little
Scanlan.
Yeah. He's just eating a sandwich the whole time.
The way he dipped his whole hand into the mustard jar was hilarious. I was like, oh my god, are you kidding me?
And they got the book.
Hey, they removed all their utensils, man. Because they tried to escape.
Oh, but speaking of which, when they showed off the monsters, okay, so my thoughts or like what I thought was gonna happen.
Terrifying though.
Yeah, no, they were terrifying. But when she was using her spell,
you thought it was a family, right?
I thought it was a family. Yeah, I thought it was gonna be like the actual like family themselves brought back as like
that would suck.
Like ghouls.
Yeah, that would.
Yeah, suck. I thought that too. I was like, oh my gosh, she's gonna do him so dirty.
Yeah, they didn't go that route, which I was kind of a little disappointed at, but at the same time, it did kind of, I guess you could say, subvert that, I guess.
Well, I think that would get them caught even more, like, because remember, the family didn't die from they escaped, right? Or I forgot what was it. Damn it. trying to remember. They changed the story pretty much.
Yes. They changed the actual like history behind kind of like what actually.
Yeah, because obviously they can't say, "Oh, we just murdered the whole family," so
Pretty
they
much.
just made up some nonsense.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah.
that's why I think they probably didn't go that route because they don't want us say, "Hey, we murdered them."
Right.
Yeah, but yeah.
But yeah, no, overall, like this episode was a lot of fun. Like, well, it was actually like towards the middle, it was actually like turned into a straight up horror. Like, it felt like it just straight up turned into like a horror movie.
Yeah, the way
Like-
those ghouls attacked them and the black pouring over their faces, like I thought they were gonna die. Like when they started stabbing them and the black was, I'm like, dude, they're all
Apparently
dead.
they did. But I guess just being stabbed, like, and like the black goo pouring out of your orifices, I guess that doesn't kill you.
It
but
kind
when
of
they start tossing you around and just starting ripping you,
Breaking
apart,
your
that's-
neck and stuff.
they kind of
that
remind me
part
of
killed you.
they kind of remind me of the Mentors, you know?
Yeah, from Harry Potter.
Yeah, so that's what it reminded me when they were attacking. I was like, and of course they're also they fear the light as well,
They do, yeah.
just like in Harry Potter.
Yeah.
In a way.
I do feel bad for Pike though. Like,
I
she's
know.
just suffering right now.
Oh, absolutely. And it doesn't help that like the first 2 episodes, like she was still like out of practice, so her healing was still not like up to snuff. So
It makes me think that like for some reason or another, like her
Maybe she
goddess
just-
doesn't really like her that much. Like I get that vibe. Like I get the vibe that she's like she did something and now she has a hard time like
I was
gaining it,
also-
you know?
I was also going to say that like maybe I have like Dragon Quest in my mind, but maybe she's like in the wrong class like Maam was.
Yeah.
Or like Maam needed to do like a reclassing and like learn like a whole different like, you know, martial arts and stuff. So maybe Pike is also doing the same thing too. Because she
Mhm.
mentioned to Caliph that like you're their light now. Like later on in the episode where like Caliph was able to like use like light magic and stuff, like she was like, okay,
Yeah.
you can help them now. So maybe Caliph is now in charge of like everything magic related. That's
Yeah.
my guess. That's my guess anyway.
That's a good theory. I think the similar thing actually.
Because in a way, when his name's Grok, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
good guy.
Yeah, he pretty much says like, hey, she doesn't talk to you no more, or you know, what about you yell at her like the goddess doesn't connect? I was like, oh damn, what did you do wrong with the goddess?
I do want to say that it kind of like also like I don't know if you guys noticed, but in that last like when Grog was like, oh, just like old times, it kind of makes me think that like before Vox Machina was formed, it seemed like Pike and Grog were like at the very least in the same party. Like they were, they had a lot more history together than the other characters do. At least that's kind of the vibe I got. But yeah, no, overall this was a really entertaining episode. Caliph again just completely like, you know, had her spotlight that Pike should have had, but other than that, like it was still like really fun seeing our heroes trying to figure out the situation and kind of like, you know, going up against again another force that they had no idea how to handle, but sure enough they managed to survive.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun. All right, now moving on to our next anime, we have Life with an Ordinary Guy Who Reincarnated into a Total Fantasy Knockout, episode 6.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest with this show. I don't know what is happening anymore.
I don't either. Like, okay, so apparently Schwartz's goddess shows up. So it's confirmed that like there's different goddesses that bring in
12 of
different
them, right?
heroes.
12?
And there's like there's a total of 12 goddesses. And Schwartz's goddess is the goddess of night. That's why she has a sleep cap and a pillow and jammies.
You know what
she was sleeping.
You know what's funny though? The fact that our two MCs, like the reason why they're both there is that I guess the what do you call it? The suit dude is the weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what? So that's the reason why he got isekai as well, because you know,
Yeah, I
it's
thought that
always
was really stupid.
was,
Like I kind of tuned that whole like explanation. I'm like, this is dumb.
like when he said that, when she said that like, Tachibana was the actual like hero and like Jinguji was the weapon, it kind of reminded me of how in Konosuba how Kazuma used his like one item to bring in was actually Aqua
to bring in the hot goddess girl, and then she does nothing.
Yeah,
she sucks.
So I guess it's like that, but like the total
Jinguji's actually good.
Yeah, Jinguji's like actually like super overpowered.
But
instead of just being horrible at everything and annoying.
But I guess that's why the MC is not as powerful as the weapon is, because of course, you know, Kirito character, his sword is like super duper powerful. But
that's his weapon.
He lost. No, he didn't lose it. It got Aiden by the armored suit like girl.
But my question is that it looks as if like the armor itself took the actual sword, so it's like
I don't think he's getting it back.
Well, the thing, like I don't know, that whole thing was just a gag to try and get Tachibana's clothes off. It's that was so dumb.
It very much is. And not much of substance really happened. I mean, like other than the fact that they find a weird like town that has, I guess, an active cult going around surrounding
for their
like
goddess.
Squid. Yeah, like their squid god or whatever.
Yeah, where they have to kill beautiful, and then they had a really dumb moment with the elf lady who I hate.
The one that's so beautiful.
Yeah, and she's
mega
like,
beautiful.
And then they bring someone more beautiful, and then they start arguing. It's like, dude, you're gonna get sacrificed.
I like how she thought that she was gonna get violated, but then she immediately was like, "Oh, you're gonna kill me," but it's because I'm so beautiful.
And then she wanted to get violated too. She was like, "This man's so handsome." Like, bruh, what's going on?
The characters in this show, like, I know that they're trying to subvert expectations for comedy, but it's like, it's just so weird because it's like it's self-aware, but at the same time, it feels like it isn't.
Yeah, you know, Rabbi, I feel the same way because it's like, it feels like it's self-aware comedy, but then it's just like bad comedy as well.
Yeah,
it's just not funny.
But at the same time, I guess the reason, like for me, I feel like the reason why we're still like, you know, keeping it around is because like that comedy, I don't know, I feel like there's something charming and endearing about how horrible like the comedy is. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
It's really strange, and obviously the way the episode ends is the fact that they actually kidnapped Tachibana too, because because of the fact they want beautiful women involved. They had to bring in the most beautifulest woman around.
Yeah, and then they argue.
The dumbest thing I think in this episode was when they were reminiscing in the past and about the diary.
The dumb diary where he's like, "Oh, you want to be Scotch tape, cellophane tape."
Reminder that these are 32-year-old salarymen that are arguing.
I was
about diary.
I know,
about their dreams.
And the thing is, but it was the most weird. I don't know. Maybe this is a thing where people keep like elementary book or album.
I'll be honest. I lost my elementary like whatever composition book.
I don't even have my high school
years ago. Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what this anime is doing. We're in it for the ride.
Yeah, we're in it for the ride because yeah. It was either this or we keep the police one. So I think everyone would choose this.
Yeah, I think we won out in the end. But yeah, we'll see kind of what happens or
Tokyo 24 War.
Is Tachibana gonna die? Who knows?
Yeah, dude, is she gonna die?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see in the next week's episode. All right, now moving on, we're going to be talking about our next show. We have Genius Prince's Guide to Raising a Nation Out of Debt, episode 6.
This one got kind of dark.
It did.
This one got challenging for our MC now too, as well.
It did. Like honestly, like this is the one anime where I'm just like steadily getting more impressed with just how deep like this political like stuff is going, and I'm honestly able to follow it. That's like one of the things I hate with like anime or just anything in general, where it's like they have like all this political drama, but I have no, like, it's either boring or it's like I have no idea what's going on. And thankfully for me, this anime has not done any of that yet. I'm able to follow what's going on, and it's entertaining to kind of see what Wayne is gonna be doing.
You know what's funny?
Also,
hold on. You know what's funny in general? The scene where they're gonna show what's gonna happen, but they're like, nah, I'm gonna make it into a flashback.
Oh
yeah.
And going with what I was originally gonna say is Ninim with brown hair, super adorable.
I like both.
Super adorable, yeah. No, I mean I do too. But
I think she's just cute in general. Like she's like her mannerisms and stuff are like I like how she's right in the middle of like girls. Like she's right in the middle of like two tropes. She's kind of that really quiet stoic type.
Yeah,
but then she also has that like flirty tsundere type too, and she's like in the middle of it.
Hey,
and it feels natural.
It does. It honestly does. And again, like given her backstory that we know of so far, it actually fits really well. And again, I just love the fact that we have a character, and I've said this in the first episode, but I love the fact that we have a character that our MC is able to just actively just be open about, and they're able to like, just kind of share whatever's going on. Like the fact, like when she brought up her brown hair, like she was like, "Oh, do you like me with my brown hair? Do you like me with my white hair?"
Dude, that's such like a like girls ask that all the time. And it's always a trap, because if you say you liked it, then they'll get mad, and if you say you didn't like it, they'll get mad.
That's why he went with the other thing.
That's why he went with because he knew, and then she got mad anyways. He's like, this is what I was trying to avoid.
But by the way, what do you guys think of the fact that there's a literal cult that's growing within the kingdom of Natra? Yeah. Within Wayne's own kingdom.
Yeah, it's pretty tough right now for him. Well, in a way, because he doesn't know.
Because that's what happens with kingdoms, right? Like you get like rebel groups in every kingdom who don't agree with your politics.
Yeah.
And they rise up, and especially in the old days, when this takes place, where it was like kings and monarchs have it good, and the peasants are like suffering, so they rebel, right?
So fun fact, you weren't here for this, Josh, but last week I actually brought up the fact that that this fantasy show, I don't think has any like fantasy like or magic elements or anything like that at all.
It's a straight up like
medieval
kingdom versus kingdom political drama.
Yeah, there's like no magic, no monsters. Like it's so weird, because when I think of fantasy like anime or whatever like that, I usually think of like especially when they're set in medieval times, I constantly think of like, oh, there's magic, oh, there's elves, there's all this stuff. Basically what Total Fantasy Knockout has.
Yeah.
But this
honestly, dude, this is literally just a medieval. This isn't a fantasy. This is a medieval anime.
Yeah.
It just takes place in medieval times.
Yeah. Straight
with
up.
Kings and queens and royals and nobles, and just that's it. Which is honestly a breath of fresh air.
It is, like, and it's so weird because going into this anime, you wouldn't even think that it was like that, because constantly we were like making comparisons with Realist Hero. But Realist Hero legit did have.
It's just Realist Hero is just a dumb isekai with fancy elements.
With romance, a lot of romance.
Yeah. And this one does too, obviously, with like.
But it knows how to be serious at times and not serious.
I like this one because the romance is like, it's not just straight. Like I like the dynamic between Wayne and
Ninim.
Yeah, Ninim, because they're like, they obviously like each other, but like she's like, no, there's no chance. Like it's just for fun.
And
never.
And the other girl too, where she couldn't do it now. She couldn't.
Yeah.
Because of her status, she's status. Like, if I want to.
Like, it feels like there's like some classism stuff, and they keep constantly referencing how Ninim is a victim of racism and oppression. for her race being like treated as bad, but we haven't seen any like examples of that yet. So I hope that we'll see like an
100%.
example other than with the hair change, obviously, because
Yeah.
We I guess we still need a lot of locations to visit too. I feel like this show likes to explain a lot of different areas too. I like that.
Yeah.
I'm 100% sure that this is probably going to be greenlit for a second season, because there's so much in-depth, like, again, history and culture that this anime has in store, that I feel like it's like impossible to just keep it to just like 12 episodes. Like, they have to renew it for a second season. I hope it.
yeah.
Okay, and I know it's like early on, that we are at the halfway point. But man, I'm already wanting that second season. Just to
I don't know if I go that
far.
far.
Well, at least, just to kind of like get to see more of kind of like what the world is about, and kind of like all the politics and stuff. Because like I said, I'm personally enjoying the politics. And kind
Yeah,
of,
it depends on how the show ends. If this ends, like I'm in the middle of this. This is like, I don't know. I'm not holding my hopes up, because right now, like, I don't like the comedy in the show, really. I like the dynamic between Ninem and Wayne, but I feel like a lot of the comedy is just like Wayne being smart, and it kind of gets old, so I'm not like super hyped to it. I think it's very interesting, but we'll see how it ends.
I think the reason why I personally like, I'm okay with the comedy is because even though like Wayne, obviously gets his way and everything like that, I like it when MCs kind of like have that weaker side to themselves, and they're able to kind of just like express kind of like how they feel and stuff. And a lot of the comedy does kind of come from the contrast between Wayne's personality, what he shows to other people, versus kind of like what he shows to himself and to Ninem only.
The public versus them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It's literally just like a lot of that comedy does just come from that contrast, and I'm honestly okay with it, because it is something that you don't get to see a lot of, in anime or just anything in general. So I'm personally on board with it. Like, it hasn't gotten old for me yet. Anyway, I can imagine probably it might. We'll see. And yeah, I think the cliffhanger it also left off in is also pretty interesting too, because you have the whole like Martin forces and this weird, I guess, elite circle, I guess you guys want to call it. That's like, you have to kill off all the Martin folk or whatever. And the dude that lost his arm too, because he's also involved in this revenge plot. So.
Oh yeah, they're trying to. I think they're trying to make him look bad.
Oh no, absolutely. Yeah. They're trying to give a reason to squash out the Nocturnes once and for all, I guess. But yeah, can't wait for next week. It's a lot of other missing answers that needs.
Oh, we didn't even really talk about this, but the whole plot with the holy wise men and stuff like that.
Yeah. He brought up at the last.
They're like sketchy.
Yeah.
And they're like working with the others. Like,
yeah, that's what I brought up. I was bringing up like that weird. I forgot what they were called, so I just called them like the Elite Circle or something like that.
Yeah, and
he was nominated.
Sadist girl.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's weird.
Very, very, very weird. But yeah, we'll see more of that next week's episode, and yeah. Moving on to our next anime, we have Sabikui Bisco episode 6. And yeah,
the jellyfish girl's back again.
Yeah, and we also get her name as well. I think it was Bentol, I believe. I'll put her name on the screen.
Yeah.
It wasn't funny or to make fun of. It was just
it was
a weird name.
It was like Titol or something.
Yeah.
It's just a weird name.
It was a weird name. Again, going back to Konosuba, it kind of reminded me of like Megumin and like her village like weird names, but yeah. But yeah, no, it was kind of weird. It was interesting too, because I legit thought that they already told us her name, but I guess they just kept calling her Jellyfish, and it's like, oh, I guess that's kind of what we went with, is just Jellyfish.
Yeah.
With this show, it's really, I don't know, it's in a weird place for me where it's like,
yeah, it is for me too.
Yeah, I want more, but they're not giving anything other than we're just enjoying the ride.
It's going at a snail's pace.
It really is. It's literally like, it's slow. The weird thing about the show is it's like it goes really fast. Like we'll just have like zaps in time for like 2 weeks ahead, and then it'll just have like this whole episode just took place on a train.
That reminds me, like other than the first 2 episodes, they stopped doing that, huh?
Yeah,
like,
they did.
Kind of like go around.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
more
they
of
kinda,
a
like leap around all over.
Yeah, right now we're just an adventure.
They're in a different area every episode. It's like it became kind of monster of the week, like type of like, oh, what can we fix today? What new area can we? It became like a weird adventure and not like. It kind of lost like its premise almost.
Well, I mean, the premise is still kind of true. I mean, it's just literally
They gotta go for
they gotta find these rust eater mushrooms.
Yeah, but like that village, that city they were in was so cool in the first few episodes, and then they just got rid of it, and now they're just in like boring wastelands.
Yeah, the train fight was pretty cool though. At least.
Oh yeah, that was fun. The so far I guess the creatures and the I guess the monsters and the action is fine.
The action's pretty good. I mean, again, for a new studio, I feel like they definitely know their stuff when it comes to directing action and stuff.
But yeah, this episode in general was kind of slow. I guess we're just trying to get to one place. I guess right now for now. I think.
Yeah, a little bit of development with our jellyfish girl though. Yeah. That was nice to see.
Yeah, I honestly like my one thing is that like it kind of sucks that they're not a team. Like, kind of wish this was kind of like a three party like adventure rather than just 2.
Usually it would be like that. I'm kind of like that she doesn't join.
I kind of do too. I kind of don't like the whole trio kind of thing. I wish it was more than that. Yeah.
Is it because you're too used to that from Pokemon?
No, well, in other animes, there's so many animes that has the trios.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Or even just anime that have like, oh, you meet a character for the first time and now they're just a part of you. Like that's the type, like Sakugan, dude. You meet these characters for the first time and they just join your party right away. Like
that's true. At the very least, yeah, you guys are right. At least at the very least, this anime doesn't do that. And like she does appear, but she only appears like periodically rather than just like every episode.
I guess eventually later on down the line, then she could join. But right away, I don't want her right away. Because she has her problems, like she said. She was living the bad life.
Yeah, she's got issues, and I don't think she'd be good for the party.
She'd be literal baggage.
Yeah.
She's I remember what I was gonna say. She's the pack mule.
Oh, yeah, because she's like a merchant, yeah.
Yeah, with her big bag.
Her bag full of goodies. Yeah, that cliffhanger though with Pau. When she shows up.
Yeah, that was weird. She just kind of is there, and then they're like, "What?
What? You're here?"
No, and it's crazy too because like it's
how
crazy
did you
too
find
because
them?
the side that she shows up in is from Akaboshi's side, so it's like, oh shoot.
She doesn't see him, right?
Yeah.
Yo, that monster was kind of weird. that snake.
Oh, the pipe snake.
Yeah, I was like, oh, has some multiple arms and legs and.
That was weird.
I love the creature designs in this anime. Like, it's so like unique, and it's really like just the world itself is just crazy. Like, I know I mentioned this before, but it's like, oh man. Like, I can never get enough. I think like my favorite aspect of this show consistently is definitely like the settings and the characters and the settings and the monsters mostly. Yeah, but yeah.
Hopefully the story picks up.
Yeah,
for sure. I mean, it was so
I do want the story to pick up.
Yeah, but yeah, we'll see kind of where that goes. And moving on, we're gonna be talking about our next anime. We have My Dress Up Darling, episode 7, and man,
this episode was so gosh darn cute.
It is. Like Gojo, like just being himself, taking notes, and like wanting to know more of like this other like magical girl anime that has.
Dude, he was like, He was like, "Yo, yo, where am I gonna watch it?" And I'm just like, I'm yelling at him all these pirate sites, and then this man's just, and then she's just like, "I have the whole box set." I'm like, "Okay, good. Don't be like me.
Yeah. Be pure.
Don't be like me, Gojo.
Stay pure, Gojo, for everyone.
Stay pure."
It just feels just so. I don't use this word often because I feel like it gets overused everywhere on the internet. But it honestly does feel very, very much wholesome when you see like Gojo just like with honest intrigue and like actual like like kind of seeing what developments happen within that show itself.
Well, in the beginning, towards the, I guess not towards the beginning, but I like the fact that I guess now that she's with her in general, he has advanced his own thing. It's not only the cosplaying, but also doing the Hina dolls.
Oh yes. When Gojo's grandpa like mentions like, hey, I've noticed that your lines that were like super harsh before, like making that dress kind of made you like allowed you to develop that softer technique.
They kind of showed it where he was painting
he was doing her makeup, and as a result he knows the like how like a female's face does it, which I thought was really cool actually. The transition. He did her makeup. Yeah. I thought that was really cool.
So the transition from the Hina doll to her, it was awesome. That was pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. Yes. I also like how, like I said, Gojo like engages in like these activities, and it doesn't feel weird. It just feels like because it's his interest. Mm-hmm. Right, and he enjoys doing that. So like even when Marine is explaining it, she's like, "Isn't that embarrassing that he does my makeup for me?"
Yeah.
Oh, and he kind of changed too, the way he acts as well too. Because remember with the main girl in general, it was hard for him to talk to. Even the phone number was hard. But when she talked to the new girl too, like, "Oh, give me your contact."
It was like all business, right? Yeah. He was ready just to do it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Like he was even explaining to her like when Juju mentioned like the costs and stuff, like he was like, "Hey, don't worry about the cost right now, but like once I get the materials, like I'm gonna try and like keep it down and stuff." Like it just feels so natural, It's
it
like,
felt so business like and she was like, "That was your first cosplay?" You were like, "Are you kidding me?" And then he's like asking all these questions. "Hey, can you hook me up with like how to do the camera and everything? I want to make this look professional." It's like he was like doing business, and that's like how you talk to people about stuff like that.
Yeah, but going back into that the home date scene.
Oh yeah, that was my favorite part of the whole thing. I love Marine. I love her character. It's so wholesome. She's like just like a girly girl, and it's really cute because she's like freaking out. She comes in, she's half naked, and then she's like, "Oh no, my contacts aren't in." That's the biggest problem here.
I had to go back because I didn't even notice that like her eyes weren't like.
I had to do the same thing, Rabbi. I didn't notice either. But her eyes are red with her contacts and brown without them.
Yeah, so she has brown eyes.
Yeah, she has natural brown eyes. Yeah.
But I thought it was really cool. Even like the little like when she's making the omelet for him and she's like talking to herself and saying all this like really girly stuff. Mm-hmm. And then she's like, "Oops, I didn't wear a bra today." Not like he would notice, but it's okay. I don't really care. Like, that's just like, how you talk to yourself about random stuff? Like, that's just, it felt really natural.
But Josh, don't you remember 20 centimeters?
Yeah, Gojo remembered.
Gojo remembered, and he remembered again when he saw her, right?
Yeah.
Well, he pointed.
She doesn't think Gojo's like that.
Yeah, he pointed it out to us like, that's the contacts were the thing?
Yeah. Not the fact that you came up with your shirt half off.
The fact that Gojo was like so hesitant to go into a girl's room, and then immediately once he actually sees her room,
he's like, "This is a nerd room."
Yeah.
He walked into my room, man.
I legit was looking at him like, "Oh my god, that's David's room."
I was like, "Oh damn."
I just thought it was funny how Gojo just like relaxed instantly when he saw that this girl was just like an otaku nerd, and then when he was relaxed, like she was starting to freak out. Like, I like how when they were singing together, like he was just watching the show, right?
Yeah.
But she was just looking at him the whole time. She wasn't even watching it really. she's like leaning all close to him and stuff. It was really like natural. Again, this anime is really natural with its romantic development. Like it doesn't feel like anything is out of place or anything is like this is what a couple would do when they're interested in each other. Like it's not forced or anything.
My heart every time she says Shuki.
Wub you.
I know, yeah.
when she's when she gets excited, she's like, the subs are going crazy.
Oh my gosh. Oh, but what did you guys think of the end though when they showed off Juju's younger sister from
Not younger sister.
I thought that was like a cliche. I didn't.
That was a
I thought it was
cliche.
kinda dumb.
No, straight up. I was like, oh, okay. I guess I'm watching School Rumble again. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, because I was like,
it was kind of dumb.
I was like, why?
But to be fair, I got super nostalgic over School Rumble after seeing her younger sister.
I don't know what School Rumble is, but yeah.
I don't know how many people watch School Rumble. If you watch School Rumble, leave it in the comments.
Let me know. What did you guys think of School Rumble? What did you guys think?
What do you guys think of School Rumble?
But yeah, no, overall, it's just an adorable episode. I love.
Great episode. Again, solid, adorable. Love the romantic development. Love Marine. Love Gojo. They're great characters.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the next episode because we're gonna be going to cameras.
Yeah, cameras.
Well, lighting and everything.
I love also quick thought before we move on. I love how the show actually like teaches you about like the intricacies of cosplay too. Like if you've never been to a convention or anything, like you wouldn't know about camera quality or lighting or the little things about costume making and stuff like that. Like you wouldn't know about that. So it teaches you while also having a engaging story.
I like that Gojo like really focuses in different stuff too, and he wants to improve himself as well.
He's a very unique male main character to be specific. Like he's very into intricacies and he has like a really unique personality, which is what is refreshing.
That's why I brought up that it's almost like you almost never get to see, like I don't think I've ever seen an anime where it's like you have a romance anime where it's like, oh, anime and like all that stuff is involved. But the male character has like no idea what any of this is.
Yeah, like
it's usually the other way around.
Well, in general, I think for me, is more like this show in general is not like they do like each other, but at the same time is like they haven't admitted it yet.
Oh yeah.
And they struggle so much in a way where it's so. They kind
I don't think they struggle with their feelings because Marine's very open in her mind with her feelings
in her
towards
mind.
Gojo.
Yes,
but no, she wouldn't say it to him.
Yeah,
right now.
That's why she's like that's why she's embarrassed. Yeah,
but she's really open in her mind. She's just like even in the omelet scene, she's like, "Oh, I love him so much. Oh my gosh," she's freaking out.
No, but Gojo has the same thing too, but he has it also hidden as well.
Yeah, like but his idea is more like I'm not worthy. You know, that's he hasn't shown outward interest because he doesn't think he's worthy enough to be. He's like, oh, she's a friend, you know.
But yeah, no, like again, we can just go on and on about kind of like what everyone kind of thinks about the relationships and stuff. But sadly, we do gotta move on to our next anime, which of course is Princess Connect Redive Season 2 Episode 6.
Whoa.
Finally, we get to see the funky bunch.
No, but you know,
oh my gosh, they were so funny.
You know what? This episode had a lot.
There was so much in this episode. It was crazy, actually, dude. I don't like, honestly, this anime fits so much, like, multiple interwoven storylines throughout the, like, I'm like,
no,
dude.
and the thing is that I feel like they're putting all their story into it. I've noticed that, because I play the JP version of the game, I noticed, like, certain, like, episodes are part of it. I was like, wait, are we literally just driving through the show that way?
It makes me a little worried. I read comments too about people being a little worried that this might be the last season because they're thinking that it's going too fast, that there's too much content being shown.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Because there's so much, like David said, there's so much going on in this. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, because I know, like I don't, of course I can't read Japanese, but I see some of the cutscenes and some of these events are related to the show, so I'm like, whoa, this is
like the captain that's missing her armor, so she's basically like a vigilante.
That I did not know. I did not know that she is one of the units or one of the characters within the thing. So it's her armor. Yeah.
Yeah, it's her. Basically, that's Jun. That's her. It's her armor, and she is she's the. And if you read her personal story or even just look at it, you find out that that's a quest that happens. She loses her armor.
Okay.
And you have to recover it back. Because she always is in armor. She even has a whole thing in her storyline where she can't take it off. Her family never takes off their armor because they don't, they don't have really any attachments to people. They just, their whole focus is to be protectors.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that's why in the show I was like, oh damn, it is her.
Oh, so that's why it's a big deal when
and that's why she was so quiet and didn't want anybody to know too, because like it's a really big deal to not be in armor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. So that was cool. I like that. I really.
So you get an enhanced experience if you play the game, guys.
But yeah, it was a roller coaster because there was like 3 plots going at the same time.
You had the goofy plot with the 4 of them that are just like, oh, they're just funky. They're crazy.
Oh, the infiltrators, the infiltrator squad.
Also, our MC guy Yuki, he was hilarious this episode. He was just so funny. Even in the very beginning, he's with the monkey and he's just banging his head, slapping his hands together like a little baby.
That's why I liked. Well, of course, it's the same. The ones that made Konosuba also made this show, so that's why the humor comes in like really good on this show, and that's why I like about this show a lot.
Even when he's looking for the guy's like, we're looking for a redheaded girl, she's acting weird, and then he just comes across Kuka and she's just reading basically porn.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like these, and he burns.
That was hilarious. Oh, I was dying laughing when
that was a lot of funny moments in this episode, man.
And then with that guy I can't remember his name. I think his name is Charles or whatever.
Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. He's like, he has like this epic moment, and he's sitting there. And he's like, for all the fallen soldiers. And he just pulls out the book of erotic magazines. And he's like, you guys will live to see another day.
Not anymore. Because the villain of this episode was the slime.
The slime, which goodness knows what that is. Even everyone's like, what is that thing?
I mean, I feel like it's just a slime that just gives sentience to like inanimate objects.
I feel like it has something to do with our main bad girl.
Could be, yeah.
Or it's like a glitch or something, because they talked about glitches before in like the world.
That is very true. We don't know.
There was a lot of characters in the background too, so I was like, damn, they really threw out even more characters. Well, they brought them back from last season too. The other 3, the trio.
Yeah.
The ones that tortured our MC.
Yeah, she's just there. Yeah, and then he mentions it. She mentions it
PSD.
to him, and he just gets PTSD.
Yeah. Just instant PTSD. I'm like, oh my god.
But then we see her interacting with that like one of the 7 elders or something. One of the 7. We see her interacting with her. So
you know what's
we don't know
pretty
what's
too?
going on with that.
The butterfly that keeps appearing, and we finally see who had the butterfly.
Yeah.
Kokoro noticed it, but she didn't act on it.
She didn't interact because it was with the scary girls.
Yeah.
She was with Yuki.
Yeah.
But
no, overall, like even though there was a lot going on in this episode, it was really entertaining. Like again, the goofy stuff was very funny. The serious stuff, I think it managed to nail it, even though like I didn't get the context behind it like you boys did.
Oh. Yeah.
But I still really enjoyed it, and it's gonna be sad if this turns out to be the last season though. I'm like, oh man.
Yeah.
I feel like it just started. But we'll see kind of what happens where the show goes, and I'm all for it, man. I'm all for more Princess Connect.
Yeah.
Yeah, moving on to our next anime, we have Ousama Ranking, episode 18. And Josh, you have a little bit to say about this episode, huh?
Oh, he has for 2, but this one, I guess, even pushed it more, I guess.
Yeah. It's a little strange.
So I'll get into it real quick here, so that you guys can talk about, because I like the things that we liked about the episode. Obviously,
we might have it ironed out because for the pretty much since this show started, we've just been singing praises about the show. So
yeah, but you know what? Like, I think it's time. We're so far into it, right? We only got a few episodes left. Like, I'm starting to think critically about the show now, and I think that it's not as like it's not 10 out of 10 material. Like, I don't think it's definitely not a bad show, but I think that as the show has progressed, it's gotten weaker. It started off really strong with a very like enthralling, mysterious premise, and then as it's gone on, it's kind of revealed itself in like a very obvious way. Like, I would have guessed early on that it was going to be Miranjo the bad guy, and it didn't really impress me when they did it. When they revealed it finally, I'm like, oh, this was obvious. Like, what's the twist? What's the underlying thing, right? And I'm still sitting here like, why did we go through all this rigmarole in the beginning when you could, made way for more development? For example, Bojji. Even though Bojji gets a lot of development, I feel like his power creep when he just got strong right away, I feel like instead of when they didn't show us that, I thought it was a good thing at the time, but now I look at it and I'm like, I wish you showed him training. I wish you showed him, getting stronger instead of it just happening, because, Bojji suddenly being the strongest was,
I think what it is that we're so
I don't know.
With shonen anime, but it's like it's so common for like a shonen protagonist to climb the ranks.
To me in general, this show, it hasn't changed for me. I still really enjoy it. The fact that the show has a lot of what do you call it? It's really it's not always about Bojji. It's more like people around Bojji that grew up, because they're not, before Bojji
himself hasn't really changed. I mean, other than
I actually agree with you, David. I think the strongest element of this show is not even Bojji himself. It's the other people in the show. I think Bojji is a decent character, but I think he's very basic. He hasn't changed. He's just gotten stronger. That's it. His whole mentality and everything hasn't changed. And the same thing with Kage too. I realized that Kage, he doesn't really do anything other than, obviously this episode that changes, but coming up to this episode, he didn't really do anything other than kind of narrate and be like a cheerleader for Bojji. Which
the second episode, I feel like the reason why we're so attached to Kage and like his plights in general was definitely because of that second episode. The second episode where they fleshed out his backstory and like told us kind of like what he was about, definitely helped out. Because I imagine if they didn't show that, or if they waited to show that until later, then I don't think Kage would have had as hard as he did in this.
But like I said, like looking at it critically, like I realized that Kage isn't very strong of a character. Like he's literally just Bojji's cheerleader, and he explains stuff to the viewer.
Well, the thing is that, remember, we're going at a what do you call it? The story was kind of divided in its way, because we had 4 different stories that were all separate because they were all moving at different locations. The reason why Bojji and Kage was there was not a lot of, we didn't focus much with them because we were focused on,
compared to other anime where like you have like a leading duo. This anime, obviously, because of the fact that it has side characters to flesh out and everything like that, I think I do agree with you, David, that there wasn't a lot of time that was put into Bojji and Kage as you normally would find in an anime.
But I don't find that as bad either, because I still like the show for what it is and the reason why.
I think I definitely agree. I think it works with these two because of the fact that they're not as like complicated as like say like a traditional protagonist would be. Like again, Bojji is simple. Like you can figure him out within like those first 2 episodes pretty much on like what he's about, what his drive is, and kind of like what makes him tick basically. Yeah, and same thing with Kage too.
Yeah, because through this journey in general, you notice, especially in this episode with Peace and Hillen, like you get the reason, like is Hillen gonna be so mad at that Peace? Like no, like the reason why
she's changed.
She changed.
Really,
she really developed, and she agreed with Bojji. You know, like maybe Bojji will change this.
Yeah, I don't. I want to bring up something else too. I feel like the first half, like the first technically season, first 11 episodes of the show, I felt like there was just more happening. Like there was just more going on. Like there was more mystery, you know, more like conflict. Things were happening at a quicker pace. And then the second half, it seems very slow. It seems like we've been stuck at this castle with these villains just wandering around for forever. Like I feel like it's gone at a snail's pace all of a sudden with all the development, and I think that's what's turning me off a little bit, because I'm looking at it, the fast pace that still was good pace. It was a nice pace. We got a lot of development with the characters and still, but it was moving along the story. And now we're at a point where it's like it's almost like a standstill, and we're getting like individual episodes with individual characters while all the characters are like there's so many characters now that are interacting with different things at the same time, and every episode is having a different character show what's going on at the same time. And that's good. Like I don't mind that, but it's gotten to be like snail's pace in terms of pacing, which is jarring from the first half of it.
Yeah. But it's different.
But it's fine. You know, Josh has his opinion. Rabi has his opinion. I have my opinion. We're not gonna always agree on what show we. You know.
Of course, and that's the good thing about this, because we all get different viewpoints. Like you guys watching us, you know, if you guys are watching Ousama ranking, you know, really love the show like David does, or are kind of, you know, on the fence about it like I am now after really liking it, like are seeing the flaws with it. You know, let us know in the comments what you think about it. We always want to.
It could be flaws. It can't be flaws. Who knows? It's just mostly. What do you
guys think? Like what side of the coin do you guys put it in? Like personally with me, I'm with David in that, like, well, I'm not with David in that like, you know, I'm like absolutely like in love with the show, because I personally have like enjoyed it from the start, but I'm kind of like I guess you can kind of say I'm in the middle, where like it's a consistent thing for me for sure. But I guess as far as like really loving it, I was not in like the same boat as Josh or David. I was mostly like, I'm enjoying it because of the fact that it's a really good show or whatever, but like not to the highest level as you guys were. But as far as enjoyment goes, it's still consistently the same. I'm definitely getting what I thought it was going to be getting, and I think for me personally, I think all what's going on with the castle, kind of everything like that, is pretty much a result or culmination of what we got from the first half. I just feel like it's just a natural progression for me personally, and like I said, I'm enjoying it. Again, not to the degree as David, but at the same time, it's not deteriorating for me personally. Yeah. So I'm like, yeah, I can confidently say I'm in the middle personally. But yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys in the comments think? What Ousama ranking? Do you guys see them as flaws? Do you guys think that it's really good? What do you guys think? But yeah, moving on, we're gonna be talking about our last anime of our list. We have Dragon Quest Dai episode 70. A very interesting, I guess you can call it a two-parter type episode, where like the first half was
the fight
between Pop and the Rook.
Really good fight, by the way. I actually really liked that fight a lot. Really? I think it was the best fight of all of them.
It shows how much Pop has grown as a character. Like it absolutely really was well done as far as fighting and everything goes and growth.
Yeah, because even though he calls him the one peeve small little peeve I have is where I was like, oh, I'm just still a commoner, you know, the town boy, you know, kind of thing. But other than that, I'm like, he should put some confidence in yourself, and he kind of did it towards the end of the battle.
Well, I think Pop is my favorite character in the show because I think that Pop embodies
I'm just saying from the fight.
Us. He embodies us in a general aspect.
No, I know. I talked about this last week.
Yeah, I really think that he's like a character that anyone can identify with anywhere in your life. Like you don't have to be special to be like extraordinary, you know? Like you could do really awesome things as someone who's not, you know, born into royalty or born with a superpower or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he's like an everyman type of character, which is really good. I love characters like that because they're the deepest, and you know he struggles with his self-image, his identity, and stuff like that compared to everyone else. But it's good to see that he's very.
He has a realistic like inferiority complex too, because he's like, oh, I'm the one dude basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like I said, his self-confidence is really low compared to everyone else because everyone else, you know, knows where they came from, and he's like, I'm just a guy.
Well, now he's not just a guy. He is what was he? Grand sorcerer.
Yeah, it was so
from
good.
His
Actually,
mentor.
out of all the fight scenes that we saw, Sigma gave him the most praise out of all the other, you know, chess pieces, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I love how Pop like actually acknowledged that like all of his opponents, all of his victories that he got was basically being the underdog because nobody took him seriously.
Yeah. But this was the first time that someone took him seriously, and he won still by being smart and cunning. Like Sigma was going all out.
Yeah, absolutely. And like the fact that you have like the magic user versus the one that can deflect magic, and he's like, oh yeah, the one spell that I can do, I'm gonna hit you with it.
Yeah, basically.
I'll outsmart you. Yeah.
He faked a sizzle spell, and he cast a sizzle spell while saying the wrong. Like that's how good he is at magic. He said the wrong thing, still cast a sizzle spell, and then faked him out and did the Medora against him.
Played him like a chess piece.
Literally.
Well, I feel like in a sense, he became more of a tactician in a way, where he thinks about his attacks. Because when he was getting hit at first, he was not actually like, he was healing himself at the same time.
Yeah, but he didn't tell anyone that he was healing. And then he called him a sage, and he's like, I don't like that term. Call me a grand sorcerer.
It sounds too pretentious.
Yeah.
No, that was really cool. But I guess the real meat and potatoes for some of us is the second half of the episode.
For all of us, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I didn't. I'm in Josh's opposite. I really didn't think there was a big issue in general.
I thought it was a huge issue, man. This man confesses to Mom, and Mom just basically says,
all right.
Mom forces him to listen to her.
It's
okay. And then she says, I don't know. I could be in love with you. I could not be in love with you. Hey, if you prove you're a man, maybe I'll like you back. But maybe not. Maybe I'll still like Hyunkil. I don't know.
All right.
And I'm like, bruh.
Time for me to be in the middle again.
You don't have to be in the middle, man. You could be.
I got up on my chair and I did the bruh emote.
Don't go in the middle. Go with what you think, man.
No.
Don't be the middle, man.
I'm not trying to be the middleman. It just kind of worked that way, all right? Because like legit, like
it is kind of upsetting how she says it, but it is kind of honest. Like what?
She is honest. I'll give that to you, David.
But
like she's honest, but
hold on. What, like, there was no, like, Ma has no like relationship thing at all. Remember, she literally said, you feel like a brother.
Experience with love at all.
Yeah. I love you like a brother.
I'm not gonna say that she like is in the wrong here, but when Hyunkil did bring up who she loved, she ran to Pop. So I was thinking we're gonna get a confession here, and also Mom is like, I know she's
But
stuck
she
in a
didn't.
rock
She
in a
said
hard
she didn't
place,
know why she went.
But why did she even like? She's leading him on. Like, I don't.
She doesn't know that though, because she's never even experienced like this type of like emotion at all, like personally.
Being in like, she's got it wrong though. Being in love with someone doesn't mean you'll die for them. Like, like
No,
I
she
feel like
does.
she's got
Hold on. What Ravi said, she doesn't know.
Yeah, like I feel like she's just like ignorant almost to the fact about it. Like it just ticked me off that she can look at Pop and say to him,
I do get where you're coming
while he's pouring his heart out, she can go to him
it's
and
kind
be like,
it kind of gave me the vibe of Naruto in a way, where Naruto like Sakura, you get me? And
so I'll be honest, because the reason why I said I'm in the middle is because I completely understand. Because Josh, I was completely with you when I was like hearing what Mom was saying to Pop, because I was like, oh no, because it's like at first she was like friend zoning him, but at the same time it's like I don't know what it's like.
She led him on too, like she friend zoned him, and then she was like, you know what? I'll give you a chance if you're a man. Like it started getting weird because she was like, if we live through this and you do some cool stuff and prove you're a man to me, maybe I'll give you a chance. And I'm like, what is this? Like
the thing, I felt exactly like your same emotions, but the thing is that I'm also with David because again, Mom is completely oblivious. This is like an entirely new feeling that Mom is feeling because she's never been in love with anyone before. So this is completely new for her. And for Pop, it just feels like, for him, it's just like, oh, I just finally got something out of my chest, because that last confession I did was completely like the worst ever.
Yeah, because she also even compares the reason why she likes Hyunkil, because the reason why he was always,
because he's a man.
Not only that, but the reason, like he was always alone, and the fact that what was
like
the
he would
other
never
thing?
give up. Like he was always there for Dai, and like he was always reliable. And like for Hyunkil, like Hyunkil was stuck in the darkness, and like him getting out of that place to basically become a completely changed character was what Mom was like, also into as well. So it's like she doesn't even know if she's team Mom or if she's team Pop or team Hyunkil at this point.
At this point, she's confused.
I feel like she's team Hyunkil. Like this is what I feel, boys. Like this isn't canon or anything, obviously. Like I don't know what happens in the story, but this is what I feel like. Her personality, like she is all over Hyunkil because like she's like, oh, he's handsome, hot. I like his personality stuff. But I feel like because of this confession, like she feels bad for Pop, so she's leading him on a little. Like I don't know. I just feel like this is not it, Chief.
Well, we'll see.
Well,
I mean, like
she's not your girly.
How do you not know what love is, man?
She's not your girl.
Like everyone's been in love for the first time. Like
but
I don't get that.
She's not your girly girl kind of girl.
Yeah, no, she's a complete like tomboy. She had her mind like completely like about fighting and like liberating. Like
so what? She felt. You can't tell me she didn't feel feelings for Hyunkil when she was blushing every time she saw this sexy man.
Well, the thing is that was the reason why she wanted to talk with Pop about it, because she didn't even realize like what those feelings were at all. She was like, I don't know what I'm feeling. She's completely like, again, she's completely lost.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Compared to the
I know she said that, but like, dude.
Yeah,
I know it's a show, but like, how do you not know what love is when you feel it, bro? Like seriously.
Well, compared to the,
I feel like that's an excuse girls give when they just don't know what to say.
Well, compared to the other girls, the other ones showed their feelings for the other characters. While
Leona, Amy, like they completely knew what they were doing.
And with Mom, like she has not once said, like to Hyunkil, I love you.
That's true. Yeah. She only felt that because she
just felt, she didn't. I don't know if she felt love, but she felt attraction.
Yeah.
She felt something, because that especially kicked in once like Amy was talking about Hyunkil and like how she would literally like take a bullet for him basically.
And you know what? That's what I really enjoy about this show in general. Like it's not your. Like it's crazy the fact that it's a shonen, but at the same time it has that story, progression in a way and build up. For being an old anime, I'm amazed.
Yeah.
Like I feel like some of the newer animes, like after this, like they struggled with.
They should take note. They should take notes, right?
But they never learned. You get me? That's why when I brought up the whole Naruto and Sakura
they
kind of
never learned that their actions have consequences.
Yeah. Or like other shonen shows where the relationship doesn't work out, like it ends up weird, super weird. But yeah, we'll see what happens later on with the relationship.
One thing I actually liked about it, I know I ripped on Maam a lot. One thing I actually liked about it is like, for a girl who's confused, I think they actually emulated it really well.
Yes.
Like we can I can go on and be like, oh, Maam, you know, is indecisive and she's like leading on two guys and stuff like that. But if like, even if you're a guy and a girl just confesses to you, you don't want to like outright reject them, because you're like, maybe I do like them, you know, like you're in that weird space where you can't really decide. So I'm glad they kind of showed that, because it felt like it ticked me off, because it felt like something I've experienced.
No.
So I'm like living through it in Pop's shoes, and I'm like, this sucks.
No, and
I feel so bad for him.
I kind of like the outcome of what happened too. Like, Pop was trying to like, I'm gonna sneak in, but he was literally like, you know what? I'm at least I got something from her. Yeah.
He's like, you know what? At least she answered me. Like,
he was
whatever. Who cares, right?
He was ready. He was completely ready to take the rejection too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean, to him,
it felt like a really like, oh, you know, oh, you just go ask a girl on a date, whatever happens, you know, type thing.
But you know what? That's why Pop. Once we got to this point, I was like, oh damn, Pop even changed too, man. Not only Hyunkyo, but Pop as well. Wow.
Because Pop would have whined before.
Yeah.
If this was early on in the season, if he got rejected, he would have started whining and, you know, been all weird about it.
Yeah. So with this, when we got to this point, I was like, damn, wow, you changed, man.
Hey, old Pop couldn't even confess. It took him a good solid 40 episodes.
It was first Hadler, now it's Pop.
If old Pop, like, if it came out that old Pop liked Maam, he would just like, he'd probably leave the party, like he'd just run off because he's like so embarrassed about it.
And then
he instantly feel bad. Like, if she rejected him, he'd be like PTSD, he'd be scarred, bro.
And the fact that we also get the pawn, no, well, not the pawns, but the other chess pieces talking about Hadler as well. I'm like, damn, you guys really put him in a pedestal, and I feel like he has
attached to him, especially with like Albiness, like Mom thinking, oh, you loved him, and then she's like denying it, and I'm like, nah, clearly the way you feel about him is like different from the other chess pieces.
And that's I feel like that really builds up those characters in general. I feel like this should be like people's first shows. You get me? For like anime, like new anime viewers.
I feel like you should watch the show from Baron and Dai and onwards. I think the first like few arcs of this are pretty
for like I mean in like a first anime in general. I feel like this has everything that should be for like any like anime viewer.
Yeah, it's a good shonen. Like it's a good just like shonen show. And I especially like it at the end here, because like we got through the boring arcs, like the Flazard arc and stuff like that were like legit boring, almost filler arcs. And now we actually have like some good content. It's coming up to the end, but you know what? The past like 20 or so episodes have been really solid.
What do you think, Ravi?
I think this anime as a whole needs its own podcast for us to think about, because this is our longest anime so far. So
I'm enjoying the ride.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we got super sidetracked with that one. But yeah, with that ends our week of anime. We only have, of course, with our anime, we also have our news to talk about. We only have two, compared to our massive news bit that we had last week. We only have two pieces of news. First piece of news we're going to be talking about is Paramount plans a third Sonic the Hedgehog film. a live action series about Knuckles. Yeah, so I didn't know about I knew about the third Sonic film, but I didn't know about the live action series about Knuckles. I'm like, ooh. I'm saying that out loud, and I'm already getting some Sonic comic horror story flashbacks. No, because the reason why is because the fact that we're getting like a live action series about Knuckles, like it kind of okay. So the Sonic comic, the Archie comic specifically, had a writer, and his name was Ken Penders. And he was well known for kickstarting a separate comic tie-in series for Knuckles the Echidna. And in that said comic series, there were a ton of different Echidna characters that were all like introduced through him as the main writer. And it was a very interesting run. I don't have enough time to go into that. But yeah, so talking about the live action series, it really reminds me of like something similar to that. I know it's not going to be like that, but again, just reading that out loud just reminds me of that.
I guess so far from the first movie, I think they really did well, showing Sonic in general.
Like, again, like, other than like their art direction that they originally had intended, which thank God they backpedaled on.
Yeah. But that was good though.
Oh, absolutely. It was an absolutely like amazing decision that they made, and like
they're willing to change.
So they're willing to take risks, with going back, and now the second movie is coming out like really soon, and third film's already like planned out and everything. I'm super excited, honestly.
I really enjoyed the trailer itself for the second film. Can't wait to see that too.
I
know you ignored it.
Other than that first trailer, like I said, like you mentioned, I'm just ignoring anything else because I don't want to spoil myself for what happens. So I'm just excited to look. I'm just excited to watch it and to get Omar to watch it with us as well, because that's gonna be a super fun time.
I'm also
excited to see kind of what that live action series is gonna be about. Like, is it gonna be like on Netflix, or is it gonna be probably not Netflix. It's probably gonna be on Paramount Plus, but I'm kind of interested to see what direction that's gonna take.
Yeah,
but before all else,
I'm curious whether they're gonna like maybe Knuckles. Like, is it gonna be like when he first entered the world, or is it gonna be after 2? I guess.
I mean, it's kind of. Again, we're gonna have to see this. We're gonna have to see the movie itself to kind of
where it leads
as to what's gonna go.
Or it could be back where he lived.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see kind of where that goes to.
But they're already planning their third film though. That's wild. They're really confident, huh?
They're confident, so we'll see kind of where the second. Well, like I said, we need to. I know they're going on ahead, but I feel like for me personally, I think it's too presumptuous to kind of see where it's going to be leading, since we don't even know what the second film is. So I feel like once we get around to watching that second movie and we hear more about that third movie, then it would be appropriate to kind of give our thoughts and opinions as to kind of like where it's going to go, but we'll see. And the last bit of news that we're going to be talking about is the fact that Lord of the Rings is going to be getting an anime film. It's going to be directed by Kenji Kamiyama.
He has done Ghost in the Shell, Standalone Complex, Blade Runner, Black Lotus, and Eden of the East.
Yes, so he has quite a number of shows under his belt and movies. But yeah, he is directing the newest film called Lord of the Rings: The War of Rohirrim, which premieres on April 2024. So
it's gonna be a while.
Solid 2. Yeah, it's gonna be a while. It's 2 years from now.
That's cool though.
So yeah, it is really cool, honestly. Like, it is really cool that we're gonna be getting like another animated take on Lord of the Rings. Like I say another because way back in the 70s.
Oh jeez.
The Hobbit.
Back in my days.
What?
No, I just picture you saying back in my days.
Back in my day, yeah. The 70s had the Rankin Bass Hobbit film, and right after that was the Ralph Bakshi movie film. But yeah.
So, but in general, I think this is pretty cool because this is literally gonna be filmed by an animator, you know, in general. So it's not gonna be, you know, from here, you know, in a way. Well, it's technically is gonna be animated here, but it's gonna have a director like that did anime films. So it's pretty cool. It's kind of gonna be an anime, but not really.
Oh yeah.
Or what? I wonder what they're gonna take. It's gonna be an original story, I think.
It could be, honestly, because I know a lot of the Lord of the Rings stuff, the projects wise, they've been taking a more original approach to their storytelling rather than retelling the books and the movies.
Yeah.
So I can imagine seeing this just be a completely original project, just like how Star Wars Visions have been. So again, it is 2 years from now, so it's another kind of like the Sonic third film thing where it's like, you know, it's going to be little ways off from now. So we'll just have to wait and see kind of where this leads to.
Yep.
And with that wraps up the news, and that wraps up this week's Anime Squad podcast. Thank you so much, you guys, for watching. It's been a pleasure. All right, and I want you guys to please remember to transmutate the like button, transform the comment button, incinerate the share button, and destroy the notification bell, and all that good stuff. And like always, I'm your State Alchemist, Robbie.
And this is your homunculus, David.
And this is Chimera Josh.
Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.